Disclosure: I received a free review copy of this product from keymailer.co and developer Dragonus Games. A special thank you to Keymailer and developer Dragonus Games for this free review copy. Now on to the video proper. Hey! Hi! How you doing? This is Ryan, and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Now, let's talk horror games. One of the most popular and beloved genres in video gaming. From Resident Evil to Dead Space, from Silent Hill to Amnesia, from love letters to classic horror movies like Alien Isolation to blockbuster mega hits like Five Nights at Freddy's. The horror genre when it comes to video games is also surprisingly one of the most diverse genres, with several different video games exploring various gameplay genres and narrative subgenres. However, I think it's a fair assessment to make based on the information available and what research I've done that the majority of those games, up until a point, were mostly single-player games. Yes, co-op and even PvP multiplayer horror games have existed for some time, but it wasn't until Dead by Daylight released in 2016 that the asymmetrical PvP multiplayer horror game genre really exploded in popularity, and it wasn't until Phasmophobia released in 2020 that PvE co-op horror games truly exploded in popularity as well. Since Phasmophobia released in 2020, we've seen a great deal of clones and knockoffs and Phasmophobia-likes, if you would. From Devour to Ghost Watchers to the recently released Demonologist. I hear that one's really good. Many an upcoming indie and AA developer alike are interested in getting a piece of that Phasmophobia pie. But as we all know, just copying what's popular doesn't guarantee success. You need to have an idea. More so, a commitment to a certain idea. A unique identity for your game, whether it's original or not, that creates a certain appeal and allure. Well, how about this? A co-op horror game where the main draw is that it is heavily inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft and his eldritch horrors. Now, we have a great deal of many tremendous video games that are inspired by the works of H.P. Lovecraft. Bloodborne and Darkest Dungeon come to mind. But developer Dragonus Games really loves Lovecraft. Their previous game, which I played, The Shore, was just a massive love letter to Lovecraft, with non-stop name drops of important characters from the lore. Cthulhu, of course, Nyarlathotep, and the one and only Azathoth. Based on this and the fact that developer Dragonus Games has multiple other Lovecraftian-inspired games in development, I think it's clear to say they're a really big fan of Lovecraft. And you know what? I'm a fan of people who wear their inspirations and their passions on their sleeves, and are just unashamed about the things they love. Unless they're Halo fanboys or bronies, of course, you folks are obnoxious. Get over yourselves. Anyways, so I got a free copy of their latest game, Eresys. What is Eresys? Well, Eresys is a co-op horror game inspired from the works of H.P. Lovecraft, obviously. Teamwork is a key as players take on the roles of 4 cultists and face the terrifying entities together. Dynamic AI mechanics and unique enemies, Eresys promises to deliver a thrilling and spine-chilling gaming experience. The game is currently in early access on Steam for pretty cheap, only around $10, both Canadian and American, and I have to say it's a fair price for what's currently on offer and what's to come with future content updates. Now, I won't blow smoke up your ass. While the game most certainly has some noteworthy and truly praiseworthy qualities about it, this is an early access game, which means it is unfinished and there is some jank. And there are some optimization issues. While the game is not unplayable by any means, depending on your PC, this game could give you some trouble. I myself was unfortunately not able to get a stable 60 frames per second, even though by all accounts my PC should be able to run this no problem. So just be aware, if you're interested in buying and or playing this game right now, it is unmistakably an early access video game. It has jank, it has optimization issues, it is unfinished. All that being said, however, my God, this game has so much potential, and if you're a fan of Lovecraft, it is just non-stop fan service. 2 areas this game excels in: its atmosphere and its creatures. I don't even need to say much here. The visuals and the audio will speak for themselves. Whether you're playing Eresys in single player or in co-op, the atmosphere, the environment is just engrossing. It creates a perpetual sense of unease and dread and wonder staring at the ominous beauty and horrors in front of you. Personally, I absolutely love seeing a horrific abomination in the distance just creeping amongst the forest. Alongside the color palette, the persistent fog, and the ambiance, the game creates this mood, this vibe, this atmosphere that instantaneously and dynamically shifts from being beautiful and relaxing to nerve-wracking and intense. To put it plainly, the artistic direction in Eresys is spot on. And that goes doubly so for the monsters. These are some truly intimidating and memorable video game enemies. Their animations and their sound effects, honestly, truly haunting. No hyperbole. If you love cool and creepy eldritch monsters, you're gonna love this. I would argue that the monstrous foes you face in Eresys are the highlight of the game, next to its atmosphere, of course. Now, as an actual gameplay experience, I would be lying if I didn't say Eresys does leave a bit to be desired. It is a rather simple and straightforward game. Collect certain items around the map in order to collect certain resources that you then deposit to complete an objective. You do this for a set number of times, and bravo! You win the match. Like other indie co-op horror games I've played in the past, I've gone through the motions quite a few times of collecting certain items and resources in order to complete objectives, exploring the map to find these items and resources, all while avoiding a usually unkillable enemy or enemies. With a game like Phasmophobia, it's all about using your items and resources to uncover information, while being wary of a fickle ghost AI that may try to kill you. Then we have a game like Devour, which is all about collecting items and resources to complete objectives, all while being persistently stalked by AI adversaries. Eresys leans more into the Devour style of gameplay than the Phasmophobia one, and look, there's nothing wrong with simplicity and by-the-book familiar gameplay mechanics and controls. This right now is a wholly personal critique and nitpick of my own. I just wish there was more to do in Eresys, that there were more dynamic tools and items to utilize, because right now there's barely any. There's the lantern for illuminating the environment and pushing back enemies that get a bit too close for comfort. There are scrolls that will banish enemies that get caught in their area of effect. There's the book, where you collect and put all the pages you find around the map in. There's the map, for cataloging important landmarks you come across. Blood vials, for collecting the oh-so-valuable victim's blood resource. And that's about it. There's no compass to help you navigate. There's no items that you can throw to use to distract enemies. There's no binoculars or looking glass to help you see further away. There's no magical item that helps detect and warn you when enemies are nearby. The items, tools, and resources currently available in Eresys aren't bad by any means. I just wish there was more to do in between the exploring, collecting, and trying to survive enemies. Because as it stands right now in the game's current state, there's only two roles players can take: the person holding the map and the person holding the book. I personally believe that the engagement and fun factor would go up significantly if there were more items and tools so that players could take more distinct roles in a team. Because right now, all players can do in a team is work together to collect all the necessary pages and blood needed to complete their objective. Compare this to Phasmophobia, for instance. May not be a fair comparison, but I'll make it all the same. In Phasmophobia, you have such a variety of diverse tools at your disposal that each player on the team can assume a role, using different items to try and complete various objectives and collect the information needed. I believe that various team roleplay and dynamics would greatly improve the overall engagement and fun factor in Eresys. However, like I stated earlier in this video, Eresys still nonetheless holds a great deal of potential despite its early access jank. Playing the game in co-op with good friends is a guaranteed riot. Screams and laughs abound. And playing the game in single player, it can most certainly be a very effective horror game, especially if you're a fan of such games like Slender, The Arrival, or Alien Isolation. I do recommend taking a look at Eresys, at the very least wishlisting and following it on Steam if you're not ready to make the purchase. However, the game game is so cheap and fairly priced that I can confidently say there's no harm in purchasing the game right now in its early access state, especially to help support the developer Dragonus Games, who clearly is passionate about their works and making these passion projects and love letters to Lovecraft and eldritch horror. I look forward to watching this game progress through its early access period and what the final product will look like. As I said earlier, once again, this game has so much potential. I really truly hope it can fulfill that potential. If it does, we could truly have the next great co-op horror game on our hands, a must-buy and must-play with friends. So that's Eresys. Check it out on Steam, and thank you once again to Keymailer and developer Dragonus Games for the free review copy. Anyways, that's been a video. Thank you for watching. If you did indeed enjoy the video in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to hit the like button. And if you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter, Reddit, and Facebook. And if you want to help out and support me directly, please consider making a donation via the YouTube Super Thanks feature, or by clicking the links to my Buy Me a Coffee and Ko-Fi pages in the description down below. Anyways, once again, that's been a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all later.